Hey everybody, we're back, and we just got out of the theater. We just saw Warcraft. Yeah, I think overall, it was actually really enjoyable. I mean, I went in with, like, practically no expectations. So, I mean, I have a few issues. We'll get to that. This is the no spoiler video. Let me just be clear there. No spoilers, you're fine. Link is in the description if you want to see the all spoilers video or something's popping up, but we will not talk spoilers here, just general impressions straight out of seeing the movie. I did very much enjoy it. You?
Oh yeah, I loved it.
Okay, cool. So she really loved it. I very much enjoyed it. I know nothing about Warcraft. She knows a little bit.
My dad has been playing for years now, so I kind of picked it up via osmosis.
Yeah. That's like if you don't know anything about Star Wars, hang around me long enough, you'll know it all.
Yeah, I did. Although I did play Warcraft 3 about halfway through.
Okay. So there you go. So now you kind of have a basis of where our knowledge lies. I don't think it really, for me, it didn't make a difference that I didn't know anything about it. I was still mostly able to follow the story. There's a lot of like name confusion just because there's so many characters and awkward names. I thought it was cool. The king is played by Preacher and the queen is played by Tulip, if you've been watching Preacher. It flowed really well. I actually feel like it needed to maybe be longer, if anything, because I think some stuff was rushed.
Possibly.
You know, just to get a little more sense of what's going on and who's who and all that, because there's so many characters and so much world building that you can get a little lost if you're not really paying attention.
Well, I think they did their best to create a film that was accessible to everybody. They still more or less expected it lean towards the the people who actually know the game, rather than drag out certain parts of it. They go like, okay, we're going to touch on this. The people who know the game are going to be able to fill in the blanks, and here we go.
And I don't really feel like it had much of that because I don't feel like there was anything.
I think the very, very, very beginning.
Okay, yeah, I think maybe in the very, very beginning, yeah, because you do kind of jump right into a lot of these existing characters and worlds and stuff. I do kind of feel like, aside from one of the orc characters, though, that I wasn't really emotionally invested in any of the characters. I mean, they were likable characters and people I was enjoying their story, but I didn't really care if who lived or died, really.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, and there's some surprises in all of that, so.
Any story points aside, if you just want to watch pretty eye candy for a couple hours, yeah, because I mean, that was one thing I said going in too, is that having no expectations, all I was really looking for was, something that's visually gorgeous and some awesome action scenes. Definitely got that. And the trailers and the marketing stuff, the CG didn't look that great. It was a little bit worrisome, but actually it's fully realized by the time they did the movie. The characters look pretty darn photoreal, or at least they exist in the world enough where it all looks well blended. Yeah, the orcs looked very real.
Yeah, absolutely. Probably my biggest, and I'll say this with no spoilers, but my biggest complaint with the movie is it's one of those movies that suffers from we're making a franchise instead of being its own movie and its own story that then they could build upon. It's clear the way they do things that they're like setting up for a lot of future events. It tells a story, it finishes up its own story, but then there's a lot of stuff. It's like, well, that seems weird. And there's a point in the story when you kind of get like, well, what's the movie gonna do now? Isn't the story over? And there's like another, 20 minutes of something of just more stuff going on that seems like it's all just set up for where they want to go with future sequels.
This has not gotten very good critical reviews so far. However, I think that just the worldwide fan base alone will make enough money that we will get a sequel, in which case when you have the second part, everything will feel much better.
Well, yeah, I
know they're betting on it.
Well, yeah, and that's the problem. Because, I love franchise stuff. Like, I love what Marvel's doing. I love what Star Wars is doing. I love that. But a lot of those have been artfully done in a way where you can watch the movie, and if that's the only one you ever see, you feel satisfied. You don't feel left with, well, what's that going to be? What's that going to be?
Right.
You know what I mean? And so that was my only thing. And it's not terrible. It doesn't ruin the movie or anything. I don't know where the critics are calling this as bad as they are, because, it was thoroughly enjoyable. And there's a lot of charming characters in it. There's a lot of laughs. I think the visualization of the way they were doing all the wizard magic was actually really fantastic. And I could watch a whole movie of that, which is interesting because in the trailers, I thought it might almost be too colorful or too much, but in the movie, it really works. And there's a lot more of it. So I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Armors looked really good. Story flowed really well, although we'll get into it in spoilers, but I had a couple of story issues that it's like, really? That seems to kind of backtrack on what just happened, but okay. It's a very, very, very well designed film.
Yeah.
Good music, good cinematography, effects were good. I mean, overall, I really liked it. If you only get to see one movie this weekend, I don't know if this is the one compared to Now You See Me, because we aren't seeing that till tomorrow, but right now, I would say, yeah, go see this.
And it's pretty.
Well, and as we've learned, you know, I'm more about story, and I can go with grainy, crappy film stock and bad effects as long as the story or performances are great. She's much more about, she wants it to look good. So, I mean, it could be like the greatest story ever told, but if it doesn't look good, then she's not going to be interested. So, but I mean, you know, that's the kind of stuff that makes the world go round. We all enjoy different things. So I'm glad we went and saw this.
Yeah.
Oh, and we were lucky. Just as we walked through and got our ticket, the manager brought him over and gave him to the guy. And I don't know if, I don't want to get anybody in trouble, but there's one guy sometimes that scans the tickets that like has no personality whatsoever. And this was the guy. And like we had just walked through with a digital ticket scan. The manager said something like, anybody you have to scan tickets for, give these to. Free Warcraft game. Oh shit, now I gotta blur that out. I thought the code would be on the back. Well, we kind of had to stop and be like, you mean like us with the scan tickets? And the manager saw us, he's like, oh, you guys seeing Warcraft? We're like, yeah. He's like, oh, well, here you go. I'm like, I'm glad the guy that just scanned our tickets didn't decide to give it to us, you know. I mean, it's like a split second. We're not talking like a minute later. It's like we were a step behind the guy. So, but anyways, we're glad we caught them. Overall, good movie. Go see it. And yeah, so do you like it? Do you see it? Don't spoil anything in the comments. Do that in the spoilers, please. Let's keep the spoiler free for those that don't want to be spoiled. But you can, you know, tell me if you're gonna see it in the comments. That's cool. Thumbs up of encouragement. You want to encourage me to do more. Subscribe if you're new, because there's lots of cool geeky stuff every single day. And share with your friends so they can come geek out with all of us, right? All right, cool. So I think we're gonna get out of here so we can do our spoiler video. And we will see you guys later.